we come to corporate finance. Very important. Corporate finance is very important. So basically, the entire area of corporate finance can be summed up with this these 6 areas. One is capital budgeting. So basically, it's internal to a firm. Now, see, capital markets is basically, we have not talked about what happens within a company. This is all external to the company. It's all on the market side, public markets. Corporate finance, however, is within a company. What do I do within a company? Okay, how do I run my company? Okay, so we need capital budgeting. Capital means money. Okay, so I need to draw beginning of the financial year. I need to draw a budget, because that's the exercise that every company goes through. So a budgeting exercise. Okay, so where where are the prospects? Uh, um, what are the various strategies that we are adopting? Now, how much money is required? So it's a huge exercise, and all the divisions of the company participate in this exercise, because every division will say, okay, this is our goals, this is our strategy, and this is how this much of budget we have drawn out, and this is the money we need. So at the corporate finance division, they collate all this information, and then they create a plan, and then that plan is discussed at the board level. Okay, so once you do your capital budgeting, then how do you acquire the funds? Okay, so whether you already have these funds with you, okay, the previous year's operations, let's say, after dividends, after you pay out dividends, still you have so much of money as cash. Is that cash enough for all your budgeting purpose? Okay, or whether you are going to raise money through, let's say, private channels or through public markets. Okay, so that the question, the exercise of where to raise money, how to raise money, etc., then how am I going to utilize those funds? Okay, and then scenario analysis. So, for example, I compare different sources of funds. So, if I do a rights issue, or if I issue bonds, which will be ultimately cheaper for me, and this particular project, whether this project is viable, given that, if I issue bonds, then I have to pay interest, whether and then if I implement this particular strategy, how much of whether my returns are more than the interest that I'm paying, like an NPV analysis, net present value analysis. So all of these things you will read in your MBA. Okay, and then working capital. The next 3 months, whether I have enough working capital to run my operations. If not, what is the option? Where do I get working capital loan and things like that? And then managing costs. How do I reduce costs so that it becomes most optimal? Where do I cut the fat, so to speak, and make my operations very efficient? And then how do I comply with applicable financial laws? 'Cause all of this is the comes under the function of corporate finance. Okay, and what are the profiles? Is the same thing. The same thing. Only thing is, these are the foundations.
Costing is added.
and skill sets. Okay, and it can be applied in a variety of areas. Okay, so for example, financial management, financial planning, control, ERP, investor management, financial reporting, things like that. So it is essential. It is very important to become well rooted and well become knowledgeable in the foundations of finance. Okay, so the corporate finance role requires a knowledge of finance modeling, scenario analysis, how to raise money, planning, etc. And this is at the heart of the company's existence. Okay, as I said earlier, somebody who is good at this can rise up to VP, CFO level, and even become the CEO of a company. Okay, audit. Audit, of course, internal audit. You ensure that internal controls are adhered to, and then all the how do you create your internal books of accounts, and or you follow every department follows certain rules and regulations as to how do
Once
they
suppose.
report their financial performance. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and so that's the internal audit, not only financial but also operational. Okay, external audit is these audit firms. Okay, so these are all CA firms which do the auditing of the books of accounts of various other firms. Okay, so you need to be a chartered accountant and accredited, and then you have fraud or forensic accounting. This is what I mentioned last time. You know, it's an external firm which specializes in forensic audit. So either the government assigns these firms to do an audit of some scam in some company, or the board of directors. So if the board of directors find that there's something wrong going on in their own company, so they employ a external firm, okay, to do a forensic audit of its books of accounts. Okay, so if you're a CA, then you find all these uh, uh, opportunities. Okay, and so what do you need? You need some background. You need to be a CA. You can also be a company secretary, or you also have done corporate law. Okay, so finance and law is also very, very, very lucrative. Okay,
So, sir,
so
what a small doubt. Now,
mm,
in the four pillars in finance industry, so audit is a third pillar for the financial industry.
yeah, audit is
Like,
the third pillar.
so second one is the corporate finance, and
Yeah,
first one is the capital
capital
market.
markets.
Okay.
Okay, so audit assurance is the third pillar. So for external audit, if you have CA and you can be a BCom, and then you have to work towards becoming a CA. Okay, external that is fraud. You need to be a CA, and you can also be an MCom in accounting, and things like that. Uh, advisory, as the word says, that financial advice,
So this
wealth
is the fourth
management.
pillar.
So,
It's
for
the fourth.
example, I have a very sizable portfolio. Let's say a lot of these founders of startups. Okay, so if they have cashed out. Okay, so if they have sold their company to some other company, and so now they have received a lot of money. Okay, now where to invest or how to invest, and it's not a small change; it's huge. So you go to a wealth management firm, so they will advise you on how to invest your money, both on a short-term basis as well as on a long-term basis. You, how do you take care of your family? How do you invest in for your retirement? How do you, whether you want to invest in assets, real estate, or whether you want to invest in the stock market, things like that. So this is wealth management. Okay, so there's a certification, CFP, Financial Certified Financial Planner. That is for somebody who's a salaried employee, and they want to invest wisely, for their children's education and for their retirement. So there's personal finance planning. Okay, then family office, ultra high net worth individuals. I mean, people who are very, very, very rich. So, for example, Mahindra, Anand Mahindra, or I don't know, uh, Tata. Oh, no, I wouldn't say Tata. Tata has gone beyond. These are big, big companies. So they all have their what is known as family office. Okay. So now, how do you allocate your wealth? And how do you divide your wealth among your children, estate planning, succession planning? All of these things come under this thing. Another thing is this mid-market firms. So, for example, I'm a small or medium-sized firm industry. So, how do I take care of a lot of things? My working capital. I want to how expansion finance, uh, payroll, all of these things. So, there are companies which advise, SMEs. Of course, then you have succession planning and generational wealth. So this is advisory. So in the profile in of people in advisory is at the personal level, or at the institutional level. So as I said, in this there's a clear demarcation here. And so you are either a CFP, as I said, Certified Financial Planning certification, registered a designation. Now you are an MBA or a CA. Then at the institutional level, you have MBA, CA, tax. You're good at tax, because the more money, the more wealthy you are, the more you are hit with taxes. So how do you optimize? Tax, and then law. So this is the profile. Okay, and so financial advisor. Another thing is financial journalism. So if you are good in communications, if you are good in writing, if you are good in communication, then finance, and you're good in finance. This is a huge topic, financial journalism. Okay, so for example, you have big TV networks like CNBC TV or ET Now, or the multiple. Uh, you can give your thoughts on that, or you can write pieces, that are articles. You can, of course, you have to be good at your subject. But if you are able to communicate well, you can come on those TV channels, and or you can even be part of those journalistic TV channels. So another thing is investigative reporting. You can hunt for any scams which are going on, and and you can make the public aware. Okay, that is also very, very good, noble uh, profession. Print news reporting, TV news, social media. So nowadays there is a lot of um, um, hoopla about social media, and you can open your own channel, and you can analyze stocks, and you can have lots of followers. And financial journalists, they all move around, with high flyers like CEOs, finance ministry people, and other decision makers in the finance industry. So these are the um profiles in financial journalism. Okay. So that's basically this is the financial industry linkages. Okay. So all of these are basically linked to something foundation. Okay, a foundation in finance. So if you are good at this foundation in finance, you'll be able to do very well in any of these industries. What is this foundation? These are the first principles of
Yeah.
finance.
Okay. Uh, statistics. Okay. So we need to be good in this, like in all this, mainly
Yeah,
you're talking about.
yeah, because this is the foundation. How you
Okay.
apply. So you apply these any or all of this in corporate finance or capital markets or audit or advisory, etc. You will be able to do well. You need the same skills everywhere with minor changes here and there, minor additions or subtractions.
I get
Okay,
it, sir.
and
Yes.
in our course, I plan to
Mhm.
address some of these. Of course, to address all of these will be a full-fledged course.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just address um at a high level. I will address this. So
So is
now,
calculus a easy one or a hard? How do
uh,
you calculus?
what? The
Uh,
calculus. See, unless you want to get into options and all that, then you need calculus. Otherwise, you don't.
like is it a easy learning or how is it, sir?
It
Like
is. It is
according to you,
fairly
how?
easy. It is
Yes.
fairly easy. At least you need some little bit of maths
Okay.
background, but it is not difficult.
Okay.
So that this is basically. I mean, this is of course my regular course. Okay, so right now you are here. You want to go here.
Yes.
Okay, so how do you bridge the gap?
Constructing a bridge.
That, huh?
Now I need to fill that gap of the bridge.
Yeah, that is how this course will help you to reach here, reach there from here. This
Understood.
is a regular course. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so this is some. This all actually I made this for my regular course.
The students of finance looking to sharpen. Sir, but finance is a big chapter, sir. It's so hard to understand at the first hit.
Yeah, not many people understand.
Like I frankly want to tell that as you have explained many things today, I get into my brain of max 60% because I need to go back to the PPTs once again, sir. Because it's a big chapter and it takes a bit time, I think, for me. I don't know like
Yeah,
what about I don't know about the other people, but coming to my side, it is a big like it is in the slow process.
yeah, yeah.
So this one thing I just want to mention it.
And then I also do this. This is in addition to the course.
Understood. Next class TVM comes interest rate of
Okay.
simple interest is
Now
presented
this
in
I
the
always tell people, tell the young folks.
finance touches all individual and industry for opportunities are huge. Think out of the box, the ability to communicate and write network. Okay. Yes, sir. So
Be
like
presentable. Think out of the
I
box.
yes, sir. So like in this like